We're happy to see you today. Yeah, I'm Carrie. I'm the Senior Program Specialist for Hunger Free Oklahoma. We have a team of 3, and I work almost exclusively with farmers markets. And then we have on the call also Omar. Omar, do you want to take a minute? Can he unmute himself and introduce? There you go. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Glad everyone is here. I'm Omar. I'm the operations specialist for Double Up Oklahoma. I work with both grocery stores and farmers markets. With farmers markets, I mainly work with the capacity of contact and database management, issuing contracts and MOUs, executing them, as well as handling tokens. So glad to have you all here.
Thank you, Omar. And like Meredith said, we'll have a question time at the end, but you also can pop a question into the chat if you want. And I'm sure, Omar, if you wouldn't mind helping out and keeping an eye on that, because I rarely see questions go by in the chat whenever I'm talking. All right. So Hunger Free Oklahoma is the organization that actually operates Double Up Oklahoma, and we're an advocacy organization. We bring groups together across the state to ensure that all Oklahomans have enough food every day. Today we're talking specifically about the Double Up Oklahoma program. I want to tell you a little bit about the intended audience, just so you know who this presentation was designed for. If you don't fit in this description, that's fine. We're glad you're here. I just want to make sure that you know that this is what we're kind of zeroing in on. So farmers markets that have accepted SNAP for at least 1 year, or markets that are, will soon meet that benchmark. And we're typically talking about a market that uses a central terminal model. So in other words, you have one SNAP machine and it's at the farmer's market, manager's table, something like that. The objectives for the presentation are to introduce you to Double Up and how it works at a farmer's market. Also, hopefully give you enough information so that you can make an informed decision if you're considering participating in DUO, and then also prepare market managers for the application process, because we do require an application to become part of the program. So we really encourage you to start with your why. You already know, obviously, what you do, you know how you do it, but think about why you want to offer the Double Up Oklahoma program. One of the biggest reasons that markets participate is to benefit their community. So you will benefit families that can bring home more healthy food. At any given time, I believe there's over 600,000 people in Oklahoma participating in the SNAP program. And we have some of the worst health statistics in the nation. So we're joining with you to try to help people find access to healthier foods. You also benefit local farmers that can increase their sales, and your community is strengthened when you keep the dollars there in your local economy. Of course, it also does benefit your market in terms of growth and bringing new customers to you. This is an example of 4 different markets that have experienced growth over the last 4 years. This is typical. This is not atypical. This is typical for the markets that participate in DUO. So you can see for each market, the statistics are 2020, 21, 22, and then 23 up to October. So of course, this year we haven't finished out the year. We still have some numbers to add, but you can see the growth in sales. The dark green is SNAP sales, and the light green, you add that to DUO sales. So even if we didn't include DUO, you can see that SNAP is trending upward. So that, again, benefits your community, your vendors, the farmers that work with you. We get some good feedback from the market managers, and we're always asking for feedback. How's the program going for you? Is it benefiting your customers? We get a lot of comments from customers that say that they are excited to have Finally, more access to fresh fruits and vegetables. Some of them say that they really enjoy the opportunity to just talk directly with the grower. They don't get that opportunity if they go to the grocery store. So that's a really big benefit. And also with the price of food increasing, this is another way for them to bring healthy food and more food to their family. So let's talk about how DUO works. It is an incentive program. It brings an incentive at the point of sale to families that participate in SNAP. So they have to spend $1 in SNAP at any participating farmers market and grocery store, and they earn $1 for double up to $20 per day. And then they redeem that dollar on fresh fruits and vegetables. And one thing you should know is that the dollars that they use to earn the double up, so the dollars they spend on SNAP, can be on any SNAP eligible item. It does not have to be fruits and vegetables. So they can buy meat, they can buy milk, they can buy any SNAP eligible item and earn that dollar for DUO. And then DUO does need to be spent on fresh fruits and vegetables. If you're ever interested in it to see where some of the double up sites are, you can go to doubleUpOklahoma.org and you can search by zip code and find the closest locations. We have 21 farmers markets and 12 grocery stores and a mobile market with 6 different stops. And we're adding to those as we go. And that's why we want to add to that for the next season. And that's why we're encouraging you to apply for double up. In this next section, I want to talk about how DUO operates at a farmer's market. When a customer comes to your market, they typically, if you're using sort of the central terminal model, they're going to bring their SNAP card and they're going to go to the market manager's booth or the info booth, and they're going to swipe their EBT card in exchange for SNAP tokens. So for every SNAP token that they receive, they automatically receive $1 or another token for DUO, up to $20 per day. Then they go to each of your vendors, to the vendors that are SNAP or DUO vendors. They spend their tokens there and receive fresh fruits and vegetables. Now, you may be wondering, if you're the market manager or your vendor, you know, a token is nice, but how do you actually get paid for those tokens? So when a vendor accepts tokens in exchange for product, so a customer comes to them, purchases a fresh fruit or vegetable, and they receive tokens, they keep those until the end of the market day, and then they turn those into the market manager. The market manager, in turn, keeps that record, records what they have, what they've received from the vendor, and then they pay the vendor for the amount of double up that was, what we say, redeemed, the tokens that were spent. Then the market manager, who has spent money paying the vendors, wants to be reimbursed. So the market manager sends us a monthly report and an invoice that shows how much DUO was redeemed at the vendors during that month. And then HFO will reimburse your market for the amount of double up that was redeemed at your market. Let's talk a little bit about what is eligible for double up. It is all fresh fruits and vegetables, also frozen, canned, dried fruits and vegetables, fresh herbs, and plants that grow food. They can't have any added sugar, oil, fat, any additives. But they can be, frozen, canned, dried. So that's, I know a lot of folks are interested in drying fruits and vegetables these days, so that's eligible. We do ask that the product that it's exchanged for double up is grown locally. So our definition of grown locally is that it's grown within Oklahoma, or if you are, in a part of the state where you're also close to a neighboring state, then we also consider that local. So example, Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, or Texas. So within 100 miles of where the market location is. That's the definition that we use for local. The market manager has a number of responsibilities, and these are in a contract that we provide to you. So in general, they manage the incentives, which typically is a token, keep the records. They manage the relationship with the vendors. So you're already recruiting vendors. You're responsible for training those vendors for Double Up. We'll give you a lot of resources to do that. And then you just ensure that the Double Up rules are followed, and you pay your vendors according to the schedule that you have set up in your market. To customers, you're responsible to promote Duo to them, oversee the incentive distribution, and then keep market day records. And then we ask that you report the metrics that you gather at the end of the month and send an invoice so that we can make sure that you get reimbursed. These are the required metrics that are part of the program. If you're accepting SNAP, you're already gathering a lot of these metrics. So dollar value of SNAP sales, number of SNAP transactions, number of unique SNAP shoppers, which is a little bit different. If you have a shopper that comes back and runs their EBT card 2 or 3 times in the same market day, that's number of transactions, but that's still one unique shopper. So we ask that you track that. Same information for Duo. We need the dollar value of incentives issued. In other words, you can give them, for example, 20 tokens when they come to your market booth. And then you need to track the dollar value of incentives redeemed or used. So out of that 20 tokens, how much did they spend when they went to each vendor? Number of transactions, of course, for incentives. And then total operating hours, operating days, and the number of vendors that you have at your market. These are all, most of these are things that you're probably tracking anyway for your own market. Most of our farmers markets that use this method, that use tokens, use a couple of forms that we provide. You can use, for example, an Excel spreadsheet. We have examples of those. Omar would be able to make that available to you. But most of our markets use something like this, and it tracks customer information. So the last a few numbers off of their EBT card so that you can help identify who is a unique customer, so that when they come back later and they say, well, I want more EBT, you can say, that's great. We'll give you more EBT. We also know that you've already received your $20 Duo for the day. So that helps you keep that record. But this just records how much SNAP and Duo that you have distributed to each customer. And then we have a vendor reimbursement record that shows how much you have reimbursed your vendor for SNAP, for Duo. The program is funded primarily through a $14 million grant. It's a federal grant. We also have private and state funding and grant funding, but the bulk of our funding comes from USDA grant. And they like to know whether you are also offering other types of programs, other types of incentives. So for example, if you're participating in one of the tribal WIC programs or the senior farmers market, they like to see that, and to see that their federal dollars are being used in different ways. So that's why we have different columns on there. So you would track what you're paying to your vendor through a form like this. At the end of the month, we ask you to just give us all that information. You go to our monthly report through a link, you fill out basic information, you upload a copy of the documents as backup, and then you send us an invoice and we pay you through that invoice. I'm sure you probably have questions about that, but let's wrap this up with some talk about how to equip the market managers for success. And then we'll give you lots of time to ask some questions. But we do know that we know it's an honor to work with you as a Double Up partner firm, and we want to make sure that you are well equipped to operate the program. So we have an annual in-person training. It is required annually. It's typically one morning during the local ag summit. So this year it's on February 28th. It'll be at the Hilton Gardens Inn in Edmond, Oklahoma. And it's just a time for us to make sure that we share any new information. We have the opportunity for the new markets to learn what they can, and the established markets to share, their best practices and share what they've learned through operating the program. We also provide you with a print and digital market manager guide. There are 3 people here at Hunger Free Oklahoma that are dedicated solely to this program that are available to help you. And then Hunger Free Oklahoma contracts with ONIE. So they are your helper they can help you set up the Double Up program. They do site visits. We have some printed material that they distribute. They do an awesome job at social media campaigns on your behalf. And then they help us coordinate a quarterly marketing managers meeting. So I was whenever we ask for feedback on different things about the program, the relationship with ONIE is usually one of the most positive things that we get feedback on. So we appreciate their partnership. We have material available for your market for free. Specifically, we have customer flyers. So they come in like a pad of 50. You can hand them out to customers, and it gives them a really clear description of how Duo operates in your market. We have A-frame signs that you can use, to put out in front of your market. We have posters that you can put your own market information on. And then also, if you are doing any kind of community outreach, we have also different kinds of flyers that you can use that tell people, hey, if you have SNAP, you're automatically eligible to participate in the Double Up program. We have these bookmarks. Everybody loves the bookmarks. They're really easy to give out if you're doing some kind of community outreach. So those are available to you. Let's talk about the timeline. So this is the time of year that a lot of markets are wrapping up for the season, but it's the time of year that at Hunger Free Oklahoma, we're working on bringing in new markets and getting them ready for the next year. So we will ask that if you are interested in being a Double Up partner firm next year, that you complete the application. So if you meet the requirements, basically that you have accepted SNAP at your farmer's market for at least a year, then sometime this week you'll receive an email from ONIE with a link to that application. So we ask that you fill out that application. It is due the 12th of January. And then we have, like I said, the required training on the 28th of February. Usually by the 1st of March, we have all the contracts in place and signed. And then we'll get tokens distributed to your market as you start the season. But the key dates to remember are the first 3. You'll get your application link this week. Your application is due in January, and you need to mark your calendars for the required training at the local Ag Summit. Keep in mind that submitting an application does not automatically make you a Double Up partner. But we'll review the application, and we usually are pretty quick about getting back to you and making sure that you know that you're eligible to participate. a couple of tips about applying and using the application. You're going to need to be prepared with a couple of different kinds of information. Also keep in mind that, like a lot of forms, you won't be able to save it. So come to the application ready with your information, so you don't get frustrated having don't have the ability to save it. But we'll need your market information. So what's your FNS number and your designation? Are you a farmer's market, farm stand, whatever? We'll need to know your location and contact information. We'll need to know who the fiscal agent is, if that's different than your market. And then we need to know the start and end dates of your market season. And then we need some information about operations. So we need some data from your SNAP sales from the prior year, and then number of employees, if you have any, average number of volunteers, what kind of training do you provide, how you accept SNAP at the market. In other words, is it a central terminal, or does each vendor take their SNAP sales, etc. So just keep in mind, those are some of the things that you'll need before you fill out the application. We have all these people ready to help you. So we have, like I said, 3 folks at Hunger Free Oklahoma, and then we have all these folks at ONIE that can also help. So we, like Meredith said, we'll make this presentation available to you, but feel free, any person on this list can help you with your questions about Double Up, or we'll refer you to the right person. What questions do you have? I see some. I'm going to stop sharing here.
And I am going to turn off the recording. So thank you all. And we will not be recording the question and answer portion of this webinar.